This is Twesa Ngosi with the news. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Both ballot paper and electoral result sheet now have new features in Malawi. Deaths choke Lilongwe Immigration Department from issuing passports for 3 weeks now. President Chakwera launches Presidential Delivery Lab with a call for action by stakeholders in fulfillment of development plans under his administration. And in sports, Malawi Paralympic Committee says the country needs to do more to increase the number of those participating in Paralympic Games. Please stay with us for details and more. The ballot paper and electoral results sheet have now new features in Malawi. This was disclosed Monday by MEC Commissioner Olivia Mchanju Liwewe in Blantyre. The new documents in elections will first be used in the by-elections on October 26 and will be arriving in the country this week from printers in Dubai. Commissioner Liwewe explains.
This is very important training.
We are training them in the new skills and new issues pertaining to polling as well as vote counting. One of the critical things that they have to know, much as most of them are actually trainers of trainers, is to always be abreast with new developments. And one of the new developments so far is the fact that voter recording, which they will have, will no longer have all white papers. The only white paper will be the front one, the page one. All the others will be colored in different colors. So we would like to make the party representatives aware that the coloring of the recording sheet will be different. And one also key thing that has changed is that the ballot paper has slightly changed in the sense that instead of starting with initials, we will start with the full name of the political party and then with the abbreviation underneath. So these are, for us, major changes because it's different from what we have always done. So we want them to be aware of that, apart from all the other details that they have to know.
For 3 weeks, the Lilongwe Immigration Department has not been able to issue passports because of the absence of critical accessories to this process. Our findings show that this is due to dates that the department is failing to service with the supplier. In a day, the Lilongwe Immigration Department issues between 400 and 500 passports. President Lazarus Chakwera has launched the Presidential Delivery Lab with a call for action by all stakeholders in fulfillment of development plans under his administration. Speaking at Capitol Hill in Lilongwe, where he launched the lab, the president said the civil service is crucial in fulfillment of the plans, asking all sectors to join hands. Operations of the lab, which is under the Presidential Delivery Unit in the Office of the President and Cabinet, are expected to commence with the 4-week assessment. Winston Gaimila reports.
President Lazarus Chakwera says operations of the newly launched Presidential Delivery Lab will commence with a 4-week assessment on some government project activities. He said the results of the assessment shall be made public. The president said operations of the Presidential Delivery Unit are different from those under the public sector reforms being implemented through the Office of the Vice President. He, however, said both the public sector reforms and the newly introduced unit are crucial in the implementation of the development plans. President Chakwera said he's like a driver of a minibus whose mechanic is the Vice President, and cabinet ministers as well as civil servants are conductors on a journey to transform the nation. He emphasized that he needs action from all stakeholders in implementing development activities as well as tracking progress made.
The people of Malawi are the ones who are waiting for us in the home village to deliver the 3 goods we promised. The 3 goods being wealth, job creation, or jobs, and food security. The vehicle we must use to deliver these 3 things is the Malawi government.
On his part, Vice President Dr. Saus Chilima said the Tonsa Alliance government is committed to fulfill campaign promises that were made before being voted to power.
We must do better we surely will do better. It is for this reason, Your Excellency, that I want to remind all present that each one of us as public servants have the duty to serve our people diligently, meticulously, and also with a great sense of pride.
Chief Secretary in the Office of the President at Cabinet, Zanga Chikosi, advised civil servants to work towards meeting various goals on national transformation. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak in Lilongwe.
ADMAC says it has so far bought 92,000 metric tons of maize. This is out of the targeted 3,000 metric tons of maize that the corporation plans buying before the end of the season. ADMAC spokesperson Agnes Ndovi says they are now only buying from commercial farmers who have not less than 200 bags of maize for sale. Soon, she says, ADMAC will resume buying in depots that are closed after running out of cash. Our reporter in Ledza Chikonde Mpande has filed this report.
Spokesperson for ADMAC, Agnes Ndovi, told Zodiac that to date they have managed to purchase 92,000 metric tons of maize out of the required 300,000 tons. However, Ndovi said they have received complaints that some officers in ADMAC depots are deducting money from farmers after selling maize, and these issues are being followed up. She added that they have now started purchasing maize from commercial farmers, but was quick to say that they will continue buying from smallholder farmers.
We're buying this maize in phases. We started with very small farmers that harvest less than 40 bags, and then we raised to 100 bags to 200 bags. Currently, we're buying commercial farmers who harvest more than 200 bags. Because of this process, I think purchasing this year went on very well.
In Kotagota, according to our reporter John Paul Kayuni, at the main ADMAC depot, maize purchase has been halted and people are being sent back with their maize as the depot has run out of funds. Some of the residents have complained that they have already spent a lot of money to transport maize, describing the development as worrisome. Meanwhile, Ndovi has acknowledged the challenge, saying the funds will be sent to such depots soon.
In an effort to spearhead access to secondary education, communities around Chamama Community Day Secondary School have constructed a 7 million kwacha school block from contributions. Senior Chief Wimbe of the area has told Zodiac that the desire is to see more children attaining their right to education. Noah Nkubi reports.
It was a vision born out of desire to see more children accessing secondary education that led communities around Chamama Community Day Secondary School to embark on a school block project. For the past 4 years, parents and guardians led by their chiefs have been contributing cash and materials to fulfill their desire. The 7 million kwacha school block of 2 classrooms is now a reality. Austin Santrashulu is chairperson for Chamama Community Day Secondary School Management Committee.
We are happy that children around this area will be schooling here. At first, they were looking for places in some schools so far, but with this construction, we hope that the Minister of Education will add the number of Form 1s who we are waiting for to be selected.
Speaking after inaugurating the school block, Senior Chief Wimbe urged the government and other organizations to support what villagers have already started on their own for children to enjoy their right to education. The Senior Chief observed that education is the only key that would break the cycle of poverty to future generations. The inauguration of the school block coincided with a graduation of Form 4 students at Chamama Community Day Secondary School. For Zodiac, this is Noah Nkubi, Kasungu.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more.
Pamene chili chonse chili bwino, zinthu zosayembekezera zimathanso kuchitika. Koma tikagwirana manja ndi kulimbika, tikhoza kusintha zinthu mdera lathu. Tonse pamodzi tikhoza kukwaniritsa zinthu zapatali. Ndipo tonse pamodzi tikhoza kufikira masomphenya a mmudzi wathu. mukagwiritsa ntchito TNM poyimba phone, kutumiza ma SMS, kugwiritsa ntchito internet, kugwiritsa ntchito mpamba chaka chilichonse. TNM idzapereka 1% kapena 1 kwacha pa 100 kwacha iliyonse ya ndalama kuti ithandizire pa chitukuko chomwe anthu akufuna mdera lawo. Imbani star 4888 kuti mutsimikize TA wanu. Tikabwera pamodzi ndi kugwirizana chinthu chimodzi, tingathe kupanga zinthu zazikulu mmodzi wathu. TNM mmodzi wathu. Umodzi unamanga mtolo. Ndondomeko zidzatsatidwa.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we proceed.
It is expected that the upgrade.
Both ballot paper and electoral result sheet now have new features in Malawi. Debt choke Lilongwe Immigration Department from issuing passports for 3 weeks now. President Chakwera launches Presidential Delivery Lab with a call for action by stakeholders in fulfillment of development plans under his administration. And in sports ministry, Malawi Paralympic Committee says the country needs to do more to increase the number of those participating in Paralympic Games. Moving on with the news, the Japanese government has committed a 23.1 billion kwacha grant to Malawi government for the upgrading of 2 substations which Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi uses in supplying electricity in Lilongwe and surrounding areas. Finance Minister Felix Mlusu said when signing an agreement on the grant with Japanese ambassador to Malawi, Iwakiri Satoshi in Lilongwe, that currently the capacity and efficiency of the 2 substations, Kanengo and Old Town, are compromised because they are old. The upgrading works, according to ESCOM, will include installing modern machines to increase capacity and efficiency in electricity transmission for economic growth. We have more in this report.
It is expected that the upgrading works on Kanengo and Old Town substations will help improve efficiency and effectiveness of the energy infrastructure that is used for landing and distribution of electricity in the capital city and surrounding areas. Finance Minister Felix Mlusu said when signing an agreement on the grant from Japan for improvement of the energy infrastructure in Lilongwe that the cost of supplying electricity using the 2 substations has been high due to leakages since the infrastructure was established in the 1970s.
Energy distribution infrastructure, which are obviously the substations and indeed the transmission lines. At the moment, our distribution infrastructure in terms of transmissions and substations, is lacking, considering, that these were investments that were done many years ago, probably over 40 or 50 years ago. And, these, substations or infrastructure are now old. They cannot, cope with the demand, that is required now. The demand for energy is high. Of course, our supply, is low. But even as we distribute, we are losing a lot of generated power already. It's not reaching the end users because of, poor infrastructure.
It is expected that the upgrading of the 2 substations in Lilongwe will contribute towards meeting national electricity demand, reduce distribution challenges, and access for increased economic activities. Japanese ambassador to Malawi, Iwakiri Satoshi, says his government realizes the great need that is there in Malawi to improve energy infrastructure. Support to the energy sector for Malawi, he said, is one of the priority areas outlined in his government's official development assistance corporation for Malawi, which is among the enablers of Malawi 2063 vision.
There are many development needs here in Malawi, not only energy sector, but also the human, the educational sector or health sector or something. But since I came here, the 1 year and 10 months has passed. And then lack of electricity is a very serious problem here in Malawi.
Energy access and penetration in Malawi is rated the lowest in the world, making it a major constraint to development in the country, with the current demand far outweighing the available supply. Eskom is expected to implement the upgrading project with technical guidance and support from Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA.
In Blantyre, Monday morning, City Council officials went about closing shops and different properties that allegedly continue to default payment of city rates and arrears. The city mayor himself, Ward Ndipo, and other council members have physically gone on the street in this drive to help raise revenue for council operations. The council's Commerce Department says over 700 properties owe about 600 million kwacha in arrears. Alex Banda has the finer details in this report.
The mayor for Blantyre City, Ward Ndipo, led the crackdown on shops, offices and different properties in Blantyre himself. Mayor Ndipo said these are property owners who are defaulting on payment of city rates and arrears.
We are doing this just to as a matter of enforcement, so that we collect some of the rates that are cumulatively not paid. So much as the city council was supposed to give a service delivery, the money that we use to collect garbage, to pay wages, fuel and the like comes from these rates. So we've seen that many people, maybe deliberately or whatever, they don't want to pay these. We've actually summoned them for some time, but finally they don't do. So we said, let's go and close these premises.
Some of the structures which have been sealed is the Agima building in Maserema, the Shire building in Limbi, and the Pekani house in Blantyre. But one of the onlookers, a resident of Blantyre, was not overly amused.
Night Frank, general manager, was talking about the things are not okay as far as market is concerned, more especially the property management and the sales, rentals and what have you. So if you look at the front row, can you show? Let me show the front. If you look at the front row, there's no one who has been occupied in this place. That means he's facing some problems. In fact, the people who are renting inside there, you find that maybe they're having problems to pay rentals.
Blantyre City Council Commerce Department says over 700 property owners owe the council about 600 million kwacha in arrears. For Zodiak and Blantyre, this is Alex Banda.
The NGO board says it is engaging the Malawi Accountants Board to lobby for subsidized audit service towards NGOs that fail to submit financial annual reports. Chairperson of the Corporate Sector Committee at the board, Martha Mkandawile, told Zodiak on Monday that some NGOs have conceded that they cannot hire auditors to audit their accounts due to exorbitant audit charges. Board member of an organization called Human Development Services, Caleb Ngombo, believes the ongoing constant engagement between NGO board and the NGOs will encourage the civil society to work in line with the law. Christopher Sande reports.
The NGO board on Monday engaged about 30 board chairpersons from various non-government organizations that have been struggling to submit financial annual reports. Some NGO leaders said they have been failing to comply because they have stayed for more than 2 years without receiving any funding, while others explained that it was difficult to hire auditors to do auditing on their accounts due to exorbitant charges. Chairperson of the corporate committee at the NGO board, Martha Kandawire, says the board is engaging Malawi Accountants Board to address the concerns.
Well, most of them, they have told us that they don't have enough funds for them to do the audit. So they are failing to comply to give us the audited accounts, because one of the requirements that they're supposed to do is to give us the audited accounts. So most of them, they can't do the audit. They are saying the audits are expensive. So as the NGO board, we have actually tried to contact the Malawi Accountants Board just to ensure that probably they can provide a subsidized rates on the audit, so that they will be able to audit the NGOs who are not able to have their accounts audited.
She, however, reminded the NGOs to adhere to transparency and accountability. Board member of Human Development Services, Caleb Ngombo, is optimistic that the current dialogue between the NGO board and the various non-government organizations will encourage NGOs to work in line with the law.
There have been small organizations which have gone without funding, okay, without accessing any funds, and even the coming of the COVID-19 has also exacerbated that situation. So in a situation like that one, where that particular organization is pressed up, okay, between resource mobilization, working on the ground to get our work done, we generally accept that we stand accused, and I think from this moment on, certainly we are going to do something, because it is an obligation. It's an obligation to all of us as our organizations. Where
out of 602 NGOs, only 228 have submitted their financial reports this year.
Residents of Chapananga and Chikwawa have formed a citizen association to be used as a platform to engage duty bearers to respond to the development needs of the people amid concerns that the area is experiencing some major challenges. Chairperson of the new group, Joseph Chadeleka, said they are optimistic that through the association they will consistently engage the authorities to address issues including poor road network, hunger and deforestation. We have this report.
Hundreds of people gathered at Chapananga ground in Chikwawa on Sunday to witness the launch of Chapananga Citizens Association. The idea of coming up with the association was started by two people, Alex Tembo and Gift Konga, through a formation of a WhatsApp group. Chairperson of Chapananga Citizens Association, Joseph Chadeleka, said the association's main aim is to lobby for implementation of life-changing initiatives, including bursaries for the needy learners and supporting the elderly. He added that he will also be engaging authorities to address food insecurity, massive deforestation, and the construction of Chapananga Road.
There are some challenges that we can only come in by sitting together with those who are responsible in those offices. For example, poor road network. Our road is very bad, and you are my witness because you passed through the same road. But now that is a very big challenge that we alone cannot come up and say tomorrow we are having the road. No.
Political and social commentator Wanda Funkuche has asked the people in the country to emulate the active citizenship which Chapananga people have demonstrated to hold duty bearers to task.
That's a good development. It shows active citizenship. Even the politicians or leaders sometimes have to be pushed in order to conceive or implement some development projects.
The launch was spiced up by traditional dances, poems, and various sporting activities. Reporting for Zodiak, this is Christopher Sunday.
We now go to sports. The Malawi Paralympic Committee says the country needs to do more to increase the number of those participating in Paralympic Games. Vice President of the committee, Joseph Kalanje, made the remarks at a press briefing held in Lilongwe, marking the commencement of the Paralympic Week, where the country is commemorating the sport for people with disabilities in Malawi. The Paralympic Week has started Monday and will end this Sunday. Bright Kanyama has more, and he was there.
Speaking at the launch of Paralympic Week, Vice President for Malawi Paralympic Committee Joseph Kalanje said there has been a decrease in the number of athletes that are participating in the sport for people with disabilities, and there is need to popularize the sport to attract more athletes. Kalanje said they will use this week to reach out to many people with disabilities across the country to introduce more sports schools, as currently they are only dealing with 4. He added that the Paralympic Week is crucial in the development of Paralympic sport in the country.
This is very important in the sense that you will be disseminating information concerning the sporting activities whereby persons with disabilities can take part. So this week will be Awareness Week, and we will be distributing brochures and then having media interface so that people should be aware of the sporting activities by persons with disabilities.
Meanwhile, sports officer at Malawi National Council of Sports, Wizam Soya, said the council will take a leading role in ensuring that Paralympic sports is known, while also imploring the media to be in the forefront.
We do realize that the media has got a very big role in as far as taking the information to the general public. So we are of the view that the media people are going to help us to take that information to people who are not aware regarding issues to do with Paralympics.
Currently, Malawi is ranked third in Africa because of the performance of Taonel Banda at 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games. This year's Paralympic Week is being commemorated under the theme Understanding Paralympic Sports in Malawi. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
And that's about what we have time for in this edition of the news. But before we go, a look at the headlines.